Okay. Hi, guys. Thank you for joining here today. We have Alok here with Moonshot Junior today. So he will be talking about his company. So we'll just go ahead and start off with Ram talking about TiE Dallas a little bit, and then Alok will start talking about it. Oh, and quick thing, if you guys don't mind, please mute yourselves during the presentation. That way, anything in the background might not be distracting our audience and our speakers. So, but if you have any questions, feel free to throw them in the chat, or you can wait until the whole presentation is done. Yeah, go ahead, Ram.
All right. Thank you, Sanjukta. Can you bring up that slide deck? Thank you, everyone. My name is Ram Viswanathan. I'm the president of TiE Dallas. And welcome to our TiE Tuesday session that we conduct every fourth Tuesday of the month, where we have entrepreneurs come and present to us about their ideas and projects. And those of us here in the audience will take a look at it from different perspectives, from an entrepreneur peer review standpoint, some others as investors, and then people in between. So before I get into this detail, I just wanted to mention that we have already had a couple of good conversations with Moonshot and the team, Alok and Vishal and others, and there is I think a decent bit of understanding. A few people I talked to earlier about today's event, they said, "Oh, I already know about Moonshot," so I think that's a good sign. So, but there's a lot of others that this will be new too, and people will be joining as the evening progresses. But we'll get going. Like I usually do, I present a little bit about what TiE Dallas is all about. Everybody might know about TiE, but there may be some that may not be aware of the mission of the organization. It's a global organization dedicated essentially to promote and celebrate entrepreneurship in every manner possible, across industries, across the entire life cycle of a entrepreneurial journey. A number of different programs that collectively support the vision of mentoring, coaching, nurturing, funding, and then helping grow companies. Just to give you a little glimpse of what all we did last year in 2020, despite the challenges posed by the pandemic, we conducted TiE Tuesday events every fourth Tuesday and some in between also. Actually, the number of the events were 10 plus events, but the number of pitches that actually we heard was close to 25-30 pitches we had. So typically what happens, unless there are some special events, special speakers coming and talking during those days, typically there are pitches, and that becomes a funnel for us to pick from and engage with in more close collaboration. And again, mentor that team, coach the team, and potentially finance that team. So we had about 6 such ventures curated, and out of which about 3-4 we took to the next level. Some of us became part of the advisory board, some of them became investors, some of us, and then we are continuing to track the progress of the 3-4 ventures this coming year also. So that gives you a feel for the funnel, the way it works. This year we're going to take it to the next level. We're going to formulate it in the form of TiE Angels. We are increasing both in terms of the scale, magnitude, and then also giving it more structure and formality. The gentleman that is specifically going to be heading the TiE Angels program here in TiE Dallas. And the same manner, we have a number of other programs that we have launched, and there are in different stages of evolution. Can you go back to the previous slide? I just want to touch on it real quick. The TiE Women program got launched last year. We had our winner from the Dallas competition represent Dallas at the global event in Dubai, and this year we're conducting it again, going to get launched very soon, the next couple of weeks. The TiE program we have been running successfully for the last 9 years. This is the 9th year, 8 years we have run. This is the 9th year. Every year our kids go to the national and global level and bag prizes there, and a number of those projects have become businesses, and we keep hearing from those students. And I think that's a very important theme for us to remember, especially for tonight's presentation. As I understand, Moonshot is working with TiE Global to have a collaboration with them. We have a number of events around specific industry uh, opportunities and challenges with experts from these industries. We've had it in oil and gas, travel, finance, and what have you. And we'll continue to have some of those events. This year, we also launched TiE University, which we need to include in the slide. Satyajit, who's on this line, on the call, is heading up that program for us. Basically, university collaboration with the universities, have students from universities participate in it, in hackathons and pitch competitions, and have winners go and represent Dallas at a global stage, much like the TiE and TiE Women program. So we launched all these programs. I'm very gratified to see that we have identified and engaged leaders in each of these programs. TiE Women is led by Tina Mani, TiE is led by Manoj and Mayur, and Satyajit, like I said, leads TiE University, and TiE Angels is being led by George Brody, and Sanjukta helps us all with all the coordination and even planning, execution, and whatnot. So that's just a brief summary of our programs and what are we, and we are essentially taking things to the next level this year in each of these programs and collectively as an organization. So we have some big plans, and for those of you interested in getting to know more about us, TiE Dallas, go to dallas.tie.org. There is always opportunities for volunteers to get engaged in each of these programs, or just with the organization as a whole. We always have needs. It's a great organization to belong to for not just the Dallas community, but globally. And so we encourage you to take an interest and come and reach out to any of us if you have any questions, and love to engage with you all. So with all that said, let me again welcome Alok and team. And before I keep forgetting that previous slide shows all the folks that are involved in TiE Dallas. I just want to make sure I acknowledge and thank them. But yeah, there you go. So I think I mentioned some of these names again. So today, again, we have Alok. And is Hital going to be on the call, Alok?
So I think he ran into a family emergency, but I got a couple of more team members, so I'll make an introduction quickly.
So great. So without much further ado, I want to hand it over to Alok and have you take it from here, Alok, and enlighten us all on what your journey has been about, and take it away. Thank you all.
Absolutely. So thanks a lot. Let me know as soon as you see my screen. And all right, can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So I got with me joined by Vishal and Ashu. Vishal is our CEO and CTO, and Ashu is our he head the supply chain and ecom. So a little bit of my background and what we are doing here. So really, as Moonshot Junior, we call it a transforming curious mind, and we are in the business of building or nurturing future entrepreneurs and innovators. So I'm a serial entrepreneur. I have done a couple of companies before. My last company was in AI/ML, and this is a very new journey. This I started for my kids. In fact, they were my inspiration, and I'm going to walk you through how we got here, and just to make sure this presentation, though Ram suggested there might be a potential interest with investor and so on, this presentation is really put together from the parent perspective. So that's what we are going to walk you through. And if there are any specific question on investment, maybe we can do that at the Q&A or later. So I'd love to get an introduction of my colleagues. Vishal, if you can just introduce yourself. You are on mute, sorry, Vishal.
Hi, I'm Vishal Malhotra. So actually, my brief introduction, I started my career in 1989 while I was still doing my engineering. So in 92, I finished my engineering and started my full-fledged business in India. Multiple businesses I started and merged with multiple companies and sold over to different companies. Then in 2002, I moved to US. Here, I actually started working as a partner in EQ2. That's a company for deal with healthcare, engineering side of the healthcare to be more precise. and create a application for managing medical devices and also asset management for facilities management. So I was with them till last year as a full-time. Then Alok and I started this new venture. So now I'm full-time with Moonshot Junior, and we are trying to grow this new venture to the maximum potential. So that's the goal that we are working for, and I'm fully devoted to this now.
Thanks, Vishal. Ashu?
Hello everyone. Thanks Alok, Vishal. My name is Ashutosh. I'm based in the UK, and currently I'm working with Moonshot Junior to develop retail and supply chain for the Moonshot Junior organization, and also to help develop the program from e-commerce perspective, which is the stage 4. I've been engaged with Alok for a long time, and like on Moonshot Junior almost from the beginning in bits and pieces, but at the moment I'm fully devoted in developing this program, primarily focusing on stage 4, which is e-commerce, supply chain, and retail.
Thanks, Ashu. So, I'll take it from there. So really, I mean, what we are solving, what business we are in. So when it comes to K-12, again, and these are some of the foundation principle of TiE as well. And TiE, I have been part of TiE for over last 10 years. So really, innovation and entrepreneurship may not be taught in the K-12 education the way they need to be taught now, especially when we look at the future of work. It's changing very fast, and the current education system may not be keeping up. And then there are lot of new information coming, especially with the acceleration of pandemic. So PwC released some of their reports, and what they are saying, there is a possible scenario, and again, they have put together several scenarios. They are saying there will be only less than 10% full-time job in 2030. I mean, PwC is not really saying, or their report, that every child start coming out will start opening companies and hiring employees. What they are really saying that the nature of job is going to change. So when the full-time start disappearing, more gig economies, freelancing, and a different job of nature, different nature of jobs will become more and more prevalent. Again, all this information, I'm sure you guys have, you hear all day long. So they are saying 1/3 of the workforce could be jobless. More than 60-65% kids will be doing work which doesn't exist today, right? So for that kind of atmosphere, how we really train them for the future. And that's really the foundation. And again, you guys, especially being TiE and being an entrepreneur, all the community, the TiE community, I think most of us as a parents has already embarked a journey on innovation and entrepreneurship when it comes to our kids. And I think we all are in violent agreement that when we look at the future, what is really needed to prepare these students or our kids. That's really requires a combination of technical skills, entrepreneurial skills, and soft skills. So I think this is really foundation of Moonshot Junior program also. And before I dive into Moonshot Junior program, I'll start with a couple of quick stories, and then we'll go from there. So let me play this video.
What are you doing? I'm drinking from a plastic water bottle. Duh, what's wrong with this? Exactly, a plastic water bottle. Do you know how unhealthy that is for you? No. Use this instead. It's so much better. Well, it's so ugly and, Well, yeah, it might be ugly, but it's still so much healthier. Copper can help improve your immune and digestive system, and it can also kill harmful bacteria. Well, it is kind of useful, but it's so heavy for my backpack. Wait, that gives me an idea. I guess someone was right. The bottles do look really ugly. But how do I fix that? Because these bottles are so healthy, and I really want him to drink from them. The big thing is an easy fix. All I have to do is make them smaller so they're less heavy. But I really want to make them more visually appealing. I guess I've always been passionate about wildlife and animals. I know. What if I made bottles that look cute while also spreading a message about the problems in the world? While looking at the ugly copper bottles, I decided to make them more fun and visually appealing while also spreading a message. And I realized that I was really passionate about animals and wildlife. So I created 3 themes that I think will really spread awareness about the Earth's problems and the animals that live in it. My first theme is stop animal poaching. Animals are dying by the minute.
So I think this is really my story. And if you haven't noticed, the kids in this video, they are my own kids. So Sania is 14 and Soham is 9. And this is not only my story. I think I'm surprised now as I'm running Moonshot Junior. This is a story of pretty much every parent of my age who has kids of this age range. So what she wanted to do, very simple thing. She wanted to take this bottle and just wanted to put her vision, what she is passionate about, and just wanted to take these bottles to Amazon or eBay or maybe some store. That's all she wanted. And sorry if I'm introducing myself again, as a dad and really a role model, and who is also an IITB alumnus. I worked at Walmart and eBay, and I had done companies before. I said, sure, I will love to help you and I'll take you there. And initially, I mean, this is not only my reaction, most of the parents of my place, they have the similar reaction to all these things. The picture which looks so rosy, and I just calculated quickly, I thought that this might take only maybe some prototyping time, 10 hours, and some, I'll put together some content marketing and maybe e-commerce. Since I know it, it might take me only 30, 35 hours. And I put some buffer. I said like, okay, it might be a 40, 50 hours of work. And again, I did not even think crowdfunding or anything, but the reality was very different. The reality became 500 to 600 hours of work. And I mean, again, we all estimate things this way. And I was very resourceful, but still what looked very rosy, when we diving deeper, everything became a lot of roadblocks because there was no infrastructure. So like when you think about a prototype, first thing you think design, who will be the designer would able to render this image on that copper bottle. I'm talking, it's an extremely simple product, right? I mean, you can do it right here. You can buy a copper bottle, get it done on one of the printer, but then your bottle will become $60, $70. Then there is no business, right? So when you really want to do it right in a scalable way, just to get to that prototype, you need to identify the designer, where it will be. You go to 5RR, you realize that the first designer didn't work out. Then you are asking to a different designer. Then we had to find a manufacturer who can do a couple of samples in China or India. And in China, the copper bottle is a lot more complex, but in India, there are manufacturers. So you talk to them and everybody says yes, right? They will take some money. The first guy who shipped this bottle, the sample was so awful. Then we have to change the vendor. We gave $2,000, the vendor ran away. Then we have to find somebody else. All of a sudden you think there's need to be shipped here. When they need to ship 1 or 2 bottle is one thing, but if somebody need to ship 50 bottle or 100, all of a sudden you need export license and all that. It's very complex there. Initially, we did not think about crowdfunding, but all of a sudden we thought about it will be a good idea so we can get some buzz there and launch it on Kickstarter. And again, somebody who never ran a Kickstarter, that process itself is very complicated. How to put there, Kickstarter want you to say things in certain way. We launched it, our copper bottle were still manufacturing in India. So we thought that we'll take an image and we render on it and it will be simple. Crowdfunding on Kickstarter or Indiegogo, they rejected that. What they said, you need to have a physical bottle. And we really wanted to show Sania holding that. So that's where we did an image rendering and they said, we do not approve it. So we had to go back to Kickstarter multiple times. Again, when we reached to the manufacturing stage, the same vendor who gave us first sample, he said, I cannot do 500 bottles. I can do only this much. I don't have this machine, that machine. When it became e-com. So what I'm saying, even when we tried to ship the first thing to Amazon, after we ship the next lot, they said, okay, it need a certification. They send all the copper bottle back. Some customers start complaining that the copper bottle looked like used copper bottle because they were just getting oxidized. That's the quality of copper bottle. It will get oxidized. So we had to put a note, we have to give some cleaning material. What really this happened, when you put in that kind of time and energy, and really this question comes like, is it like really even worth it? I mean, okay, I want to teach something for my daughter, but man, I mean, this is complex and just a simple product. Think about any complex product. So it's a lot of fatigue, and that is the reason why most of the parents really stop here. And and I think so. Yeah, so I think most of the parents, or even when we think about education institute who are teaching, they really stop at this fatigue, and that's where the kids do not reach to the finish line.
Yeah. No, so Alok, like if it's okay, I would like to chip in. If so apologies for that. So like Alok, like you have touched upon a very very good point, and the reason I'm saying that from the fatigue perspective, I talk to parents all the time. Like I've been talking to parents on different front, from e-commerce perspective, from the course that we are doing for stage 4 students, and I would say 80 to 90% of parents do say that it is fatigue that is caused by trivial tasks that they thought that it is just going to take a few minutes or few hours, that leads to kind of almost giving up the project. It demotivates the kids so much that like they don't want to do it. And trivial task, like you have highlighted it very well in a way. One of the customers or one of the students, they wanted to just change the font on the packaging that they want to do for their product. Yeah, and changing the font, when we went to the vendor, when we spoke with the designers, it costed almost like twice the amount that was originally quoted. And it demotivated the child, the student, the parents so much that it took us like good 2-3 hours of convincing that these are the things that happen. So fatigue is absolutely real. And most of the institutes, I would say, or the coaching or mentoring organizations, and organizations like TiE, they're doing absolutely brilliant job in a way in imbibing innovation, acting as a catalyst for entrepreneurship, fostering entrepreneurship. But just because of the fatigue that is caused by so-called trivial task, stops them from taking to the finish line. So thanks Alok, like it's actually very very good point, and it is very real. Fatigue is the cause of failure in a way in most of the small projects or the projects that our students do. So it's absolutely brilliant that you have highlighted this.
Yeah. So thanks, Ashu. So again, I think this really question comes from this fatigue. Is it really worth it? And I think, especially in TiE, I think we all understand the value of entrepreneurial mindset, and especially why you should do it early age, right? All good reasons. Even now, all the companies, forget about if you want to run your own business. If you want to hold a decent job or even academia, I think they are demanding the entrepreneurial mindset. Of course, the cost of failure is a lot lower when you are young, and you have a lot higher runway to make mistakes, learn, and try again. Right. So I was determined to bring Sania to the finish line, and really, finally, we got our Kickstarter in. And this project, we did not make much money on Kickstarter. We might have put in more than double the money what we were able to raise. It was only $700-800, but it was a lot of learning experience. But what good thing had happened when I was doing this? And of course, when you put something of your own child, you start sharing on Facebook and LinkedIn, and you start asking for promotion and help. So I started doing that. And one good thing happened, many parents start reaching us. And I was very surprised to even see this, that many of the parents, they was trying to do something similar for their kids. And they start saying that how you did it. I'm also trying to do this thing for my son. In fact, one of the gentlemen who called is the co-founder now, not at then, was Vishal. And he was struggling for his own son, similar way. Vishal, if you want to add there anything.
Yeah, add to this story, I was going through a very similar story. My son, he was in the first year, third semester of the college, and he wanted to start his business. So, and I said, okay, I've started so many businesses. I can help you out. It's not a big task. So I started helping him out in so many different things, and in production, in what he was trying to develop and everything. But it was taking so much resources from my side, hours like that I was not having at that time, running full-time business and running so many other things. It was not easy task to do, even though it was doable, but it was like sometimes, really, should I spend this much hour here? Now it's my son, I have to do that, I know. But then I saw Alok's post about Sanya. I called Alok. Alok, okay, how did you came here? What are you doing? Sanya was like, when I last time saw her, she was like maybe 1 year or 2 year old. I said, what happened to Sanya? Now she's now an entrepreneur. What happened? How did she reach here? Then he starts saying about his story and how hard it was. I say, I'm going through the same thing, and uh, I have crossed those hurdles, and I've learned a lot of that. And I see Alok and me, and then we are getting approached from so many friends, and we are seeing here there's a need in the society for our children for some support system. I said, why can't now we start a new company to provide this support system to our children and society to help them out so that they can become entrepreneur, and they can learn leadership skills. They can learn at an early age that can help them to be a lot successful in the future. Then Alok said, yeah, that's what he's thinking. And that's where we joined together and we said, okay, let's start some support system.
So thanks, Vishal. So I think that's once we start putting this together, I think the life of many students, many parents, and then really a domino effect. So I'll start the domino effect in my own family, what start happening. So really, since then, Sanya able to do multiple products. This Sanya box, this is a Raspberry Pi based add-on circuit board. This you can learn sensors. This is available on Amazon in $129. She sold over 100 of these boxes. The landed cost is about $775. This product went on Kickstarter. She launched on Kickstarter and she able to raise $8,000 because all that infrastructure was there, and so other product. But one good thing happened. This is my other gentleman, Soham. He's only 9. He has no interest in all these things. He want to play. He want to do his Minecraft and other. But all of a sudden, these boxes start coming and everybody start talking about Sanya. And this is the message he's getting constantly, that my sister is getting rich now, right? Now his senses are waking up and he's saying, he want to do something. And then every day he come to me and he said, Dad, I want to do this. I want to do this idea and that idea. And then he has 2 boxes under his name. So these are some hydrology toys we picked from Alibaba, what he wanted to do, brought it here, put in these boxes, shipped to Amazon, and he sold these over 200 boxes on Amazon. And really very incredible story. Once I did that, and we have this some part of the infrastructure, we start helping other friends. And really, I mean, this is what we have seen in our kids, and I'll show you what we are seeing in other kids. So this is Sanya right now.
Hi, and welcome to A Day in the Life. I'm Sanya Jain, the creator of the Sanya Box, which raised over $8,000 on Kickstarter, and the recent creator of
Sorry, I do not mean to run everything.
Life was when I created the Sanya Box. Because as a little kid, I would always create with the breadboard, and it would always be so inconvenient to figure out whether the problem was in the hardware or the software. So I asked my Moonshot mentor whether it was possible to create something that would remove all the need for the wires or the breadboard and just have something that straight up connected to the Raspberry Pi. And when he sent the final circuit to me, I was so proud because I had created it and I had thought of it. And I was just so happy to think of everything I could do with it and everything I could experience.
And same thing, if you see Soham, what he's doing now through his...
Peel and peel until it's done. Also, the active carbon clears away most of the trace chemical. Hey guys, I'm Soham. Hope you liked all my toys in my Oxford book. If you love hydrology and water, this could...
So then that was not it. And now these kids, they start taking the session of some of our students. They became inspiration for many other students when their product went there. And this is only 9-year-old now. At that time, he was 8.5. You see on day one, and you see him now. So these kids are getting $15 to do their session, and they're doing live session to 40, 50 kids at a time. And you can see his session. I just play 1 or 2 minutes of it.
And today I'll be showing you the inner workings of the Shot box. So, who am I? I'm Soham, and I'm soon gonna be turning 9. And also I'll be showing a surprise at the end.
And then when it comes to like really financial literacy, we have seen amazing changes here. So let me also play this one.
Hey, so do you want to go swim? And the other $5 is for Amazon. Oh, okay. So what's the $5 you made in the end called? Well, that's called profit. Oh, okay. What about the... Oh! Up on Amazon Seller Central. I sold actually 3 boxes today. 3 boxes? Oh my god. Does that mean you made $75 revenue? Well, if some, so let me, well, not what you think. Oh, okay. So there's a thing called deferred revenue. So let me show you. If 3 people get my box, but if somebody returns it back, then you gotta give back the money they returned. Oh, so that instead of $75 revenue, you would have $50 revenue. Yeah.
Right. So I think some of these complex terms, I learned deferred revenue when I was in my maybe mid 30s or so, but it's very easy to explain. When he sell 5 boxes or 3 boxes, instantly he do not get money because Amazon give you 30 days return policy. So you need to wait till that is a deferred revenue, then it becomes revenue. So I think one after other, and then really all the incredible story. And when all these friends and their kids start combining, and this is where we are. The dominant effort happened, and one after other, we at Moonshot Junior
Learned everything I needed to create a Raspberry Pi kit. Hi, my name is Liza Stellings, and I've been studying with Moonshot Junior. So far, Moonshot has been truly wonderful, and I've loved getting to do fun and amazing things with my incredible instructors. Now we are starting our prototype stage for a single button RF attention.
Hi, my name is Anita Escalcom. I love robotics. I designed and created this camera add-on module with Moonshot Junior.
So really, I think this is where we are, and we are just growing this community, and we're really on our way to put together a community of where we can really nurture and inspire the future generations. So really, I think to tackle this, how we can give them this whole combination of technical, entrepreneurial, and soft skills, we have put together this program. We call it our outcome-focused holistic program or innovator program. On the technical skill side, we really teach them from robotics to AI, IoT. It's really all cutting edge, the futuristic technologies. When it comes to entrepreneurial skills, we are teaching them e-commerce. We are teaching them go-to-market in most practical way. And we also created our own board game. This board game is really, and I'll play a quick clip later. This is really Monopoly 2.0. You can learn the all business or somewhat complex business principle through just the gameplay. And then when it comes to soft skills, really, I mean, of course, the kids are working in team doing projects, but at the same time, really true leadership, and can they show something, and then can they take it to even market. For example, every child is creating their own video, which we believe is very important now, and then taking it to the next level. We are also teaching them how to take it to the online marketing and so on. So I'll take a quick pause here. Love to take any questions if you guys have.
Yeah. Can I start? Can I ask a question, Malok? So
please, go ahead.
So as you're walking through this journey, by the way, thank you for sharing those personal stories. And I don't know if I mentioned this to you in earlier conversations. I have a story like that myself, and I did the exact same thing with my son. Okay, and he was in his high school, or 9th grade, had some interesting ideas. As a encouraging parent, I talked to him more about it, and one thing led to another. It was a beautiful journey that we went through together, and I was able to tell him a lot of what I knew about how to build a business. He had already gone through a design of a backpack. Okay, and I'll mention what the name is. You can go and check it out. Jetalo.com is the site is still there. You can go check it out. All of you can go check it out. www.jetalo.com. Beautiful backpacks he designed with a intent to infuse some flavor, some color, some story in each of these backpacks, saying that it is coming from different parts of the world. And it is the nice thing about it was part of the proceeds from each backpack was going to be sent to a school in a location in a country where they have traditionally had challenges in education, and so part of the proceeds will go to towards investment in education in those countries, including India and Africa and other places. Anyway, nice, cool idea. So we went through the whole exercise, designing it, designed it, he built a site, started selling them, and that's when we got. I thought he was, and then I said, okay, you're really serious about this. Okay, let me work with you and see how we can help take this together. Then we went through the whole process of supply chain, figuring out which source he can get good products from, monitor the supply chain, get the products built, scale it, store it initially here in the garage, and then later on at Amazon Fulfillment Center, going through all the mechanics of how to Amazon Fulfillment Services works and all that. Great. And actually in a very short period of time, 2 to 3 years period, we actually built that business, and he actually, a lot of credit goes to him. We built it into $1 million business, and it was nice journey. And that's what actually, in a very interesting way, as a side story to this, that's how the TiE program started. It got written up in the local journal, and the TiE program got started because I got a call from someone that said, why don't we launch a program here? And we did that, and other kids have gone through the program and launched similar businesses. But that's a nice thing. It was great, and he went on after that. He went to Stanford, graduated from there. He's going on doing bigger and better things, and all power to him. And I have my businesses to run, and I was concentrating on that. But there is a sad note to that, and I'll tell you what I mean by that. And I want to bring it back to the mission and the objective that we are trying to define about Moonshot, right? What I meant by sad part is the business is going fine, but because I had other things to do and he had other things to do, it kind of got put on the shelf, right? And so it hasn't gone as far further ahead as I would have liked. We all would have liked. For me, it's like another baby we gave birth to, and it hasn't really scaled. And it could have, from million, it could have gone to 10 million, 100 million. These things happen, right? So I'm sure a lot of parents would be able to relate to this. We did what we did because that was the right thing to do, encouraging the kids, and these kids all do very well, right? They're coming out with products. So same question with Sania. It's great to hear, and all power to her for what she has done. So the question, coming back to the objective of Moonshot is the objective to help kids understand their potential, learn. There's a lot of learning that takes place in a very short amount of time. Absolutely. They are going to be so powerful with that learning, and they're going to do great things, right? That's one thing. So that itself might be the objective. If that is it, that's fine. We can be very clear. That is the objective, right? On the other hand, if the objective is to take that business that gets built to whatever modest level it gets built to another level, and not let it, stagnate, that's a different objective. So I want to get clarity on, both are important. I think from a personal standpoint, I would like that all these ventures to go become bigger, but how many are going to go? We don't know. I think your guess is as good as mine about how long these kids will keep up with it to take it to the next level. Should that be an objective? Is that an objective? What can we do? I want some brainstorming on that. I may not have an answer to that, but I wanted some brainstorming on that. I'm sorry for the long-winded questions.
No, so I think you rightly said it, and I think so. I need to speak from both perspectives, from Moonshot Junior perspective and from my personal mission perspective. The Moonshot Junior, what we are putting together a machinery which can scale. Right. Our purpose is really to take the mission to 10,000, 50,000, 100,000, maybe 1 million kids. How we can put something together where a child can get almost identical experience what Sania has or what all these other kids are happening in the least amount of time, because changing the font, and if it can demoralize a child, might not be the best thing to educate. I mean, those things can be outsourced, but they need to really understand the key part of the business. That is what we really trying to put together. So let me go to my third slide, and I think you will get the answer. But definitely there is a remote possibility that we might able to put together an incubation after 2 or 3 or 5 years where we can co-invest or co-create. But I think that's not the part of immediate mission. Right now, we are a subscription business. We want to scale it. We really want to give the kids a flavor of how they can identify their interests, how they can create a prototype out of that. We can give them foundational knowledge and how they can take to go to market. Just first 2 bottle, it could be first 2 t-shirt or anything. And let me walk you through a couple of more slides. I think you will get a clarity what we are doing here.
Yeah, maybe that's how we define it. Moonshot's objective is this. The scope of this is this, and beyond after launching the business and what they do, how much bigger they scale. Aditya, my son, or Sania, or who are all the other kids that they do that. That is a really parallel objective that we are not. You are not actually shooting for here, Moonshot, but it is something that all parents. Ideally, every one of these projects should take off and become much bigger. But that's probably not going to happen. But if you can maybe create a vehicle, maybe points some way to get that to that level, I think it'll be nice. But we'll see.
No, and again, I think maybe that might not be the right thing for every child to go through. It's like the way they say, like even for adults, the success rate of an entrepreneur is maybe in a single digit, right? For kids, even if we achieve 3% success rate or 4% where they go to the finish line, I'll call it a big success. But I think our first mission is a little bit different. So let me go to my next 2 slides, and I think we can do further brainstorming here. So really, I think this is our program, and this is a multi-year program. We believe that we should get 2 to 3 years of LTV. But I'll tell you what we are really doing. So this is each quarter. So this is a 4-stage of program. It goes for a year, tier 1 program. In the stage 1, because 80% of the kids who come to us, they really don't know what they don't know, right? Pretty much every middle schooler has the similar story. So we expose them everything, all cutting edge technologies, and we'll have all this combination of AI, Arduino, Raspberry Pi, IoTs, game development, app development, 10,000-foot view. We're really trying to give them a flavor of entrepreneurship through board game and all this tech, just to understand where their passion lies. Once that happens, in the stage 2, we give them the foundation knowledge so they can create the prototype in the stage 3. In the stage 3, we teach them the 5 stages of product building experience. And in the stage 4, we take their prototype to the finish line. So our mission is really to take every child to the finish line. And I think that is really a crucial for us. And I personally believe, I have my own story. Ram, you have your story. I'm sure many people in this room has the same story. Those 2 or 3% kids who will really able to get to somewhere, then they might not need a help beyond a point. They will find their path anyway. I think what we can do to those 97, 98% kids, I think that is our really first mission. And we'll worry about those 2% kids who can go to moon maybe after as a secondary offering. So really the product-based hands-on learning, unlocking creativity, financial literacy, this is what really we want to give to these students. And this is what we are really doing. Think all of these things as a template or a recipe, right? I mean, I suck at cooking, but when I go to Mongolian BBQ, I can still cook something, right? That's a very crude example, but I'm just saying somebody like me can be successful in that. Here are the things what we are building. There is a t-shirt recipe. There is a copper bottle recipe. There are more recipes. We have a software recipe. These are really consumer product recipes. In terms of whatever is happening at the back end, like this child really need to understand the issue happening in the custom. Maybe not, but they really need to understand how to take this product, how to do the procurement, how to talk to a product factory, how to get their mission or vision on this one, on a t-shirt or a copper bottle, and how really they can do the photo shoot, how they can do their first listing on Amazon or eBay or our store, and how they can ship their first 2 or 3 bottles, and how they can get first 2 sales. Maybe nobody buys, maybe their neighbor buy, but in terms of their experience or what experience Sania has, their experience will be almost 90-95% identical. That is really our mission. How we can give this recipe for every child So they can ideate something, they can understand their passion, they can prototype something, and they can go to the finish line. So that is really our first mission. So this is really the consumer product. In the app, gaming app or mobile app, we got several templates we are building. In the robotics, we are shipping these components. We are really helping them to get to a prototype through our learning kits. And really, these kits can make bunch of things out of this single kit. They can make literally 400-500 different things, different permutation and combination. They can create robot cars, they can create humidifier, they can create maybe an notification system. If your washing is done through your washer, they can send a message to your mobile phone, now change the laundry to dryer. I mean, you can create all kinds of things. So this is really what our first mission, where we believe that we can take every child to the finish line. So I'll take a quick pause. Just wanted to make sure this is what Moonshot Junior is. Everything else is 5% of the business. This is 95% of our focus. Ram or anybody if have a question.
Hello, this is Sai.
Yes,
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Just more of a comment in the line of brainstorming. Overall, the mission is amazing, and everything that you have been able to do with your kids and other kids to get on the path of innovation early, I think it's an incredible mission. Just one thought is that previously you spoke about fatigue in execution of these ideas, and other big also feeling is the fear that oh, my idea is so small, somebody is going to copy it, somebody is going to do it, I'm going to be squished like a bug, and everything is going to be done even before I get on the path, right? That whole fear is there. And one way to address that is that a lot of people think that my fundamental understanding of innovation, it comes out of the way that you lead your life, and your life experiences, what you go through, are the triggers for innovation. And what a kid can think, we as adults cannot think, because they can come up with unique perspectives, unique ideas. And I suggest that look into, as part of the program, giving them an option to protect those ideas as well, because often this whole notion, oh yeah, to protect my idea is a very Herculean task, it's very difficult, it has to be very complex, etc., yada yada. But even a simple differentiated idea can be protected by writing up a patent on USPTO, and there are simple guidelines there, etc. Basically, where I'm going is that the way a kid can think about a problem, or the way a kid can come up with a solution, can be given a path to protect those ideas as well, because it's very unique the way they think, and protecting something unique is not a very, very difficult task with all of the different resources available on USPTO. So just a thought, somewhere between your stage 2 and stage 3 to insert and give that option to kids, I think will be a wonderful ad.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I think Sai, you raise a very good point, and I think these are provisions. So let me tell you here, these are some of our success stories. Many of our students who reached to the finish line, and so this is like really the 2%. This is not really our focus, but that is the 2% or 5% business. But when you think about like all the modularization, right? All the ideas, how we protect them, how we take them to Kickstarter, because I think when you think about these templates, not every template, none of them will go to the Kickstarter. But when you find those 2%, 5% kids who has an idea which can be protected, which can go to the Kickstarter, all those modules available, right? So that's really the part of our key infrastructure which we have shared, what we are building here. So the crowdfunding support, the patent support, what you don't want and what doesn't work. You really cannot tell this 13-year or 14-year-old child that, hey, take this design and just do it. They will not. I mean, just to design something like this in the Photoshop, this can itself take a year-long practice there or 6-month-long practice there, and they do not got that kind of time. So all of these things are facilitated as part of the infrastructure. Same thing will happen for also the IP protection. We will have modules where they can take service, or we can help them so they can put together a patent application and PPA, and tomorrow regular patent application. We have some pieces as part of our infrastructure already, and more pieces will be added. But absolutely, I think what you said is super crucial for all these kids so we can protect their ideas and so on. May I move on?
Absolutely.
So again, I think we have created several learning kits. These are also our IPs, and these are part of the curriculum, right? So same thing as Moonpreneur, this is our board game, which teaches entrepreneurship in a fun and gamified way, how you can understand the basic principle of business. I mean, there are many ways you can run a business, and I mean, you can source things from China, you can build a business on that, you can really manufacture in US, you can build a business on that, on the speed or on the local, whatever. Right. So all these things what we are creating, and a cutting edge platform which can really host this platform and community to nurture and build the entrepreneurial mindset. So I'd love to walk you through all these kits what we have created, but I'll just share an example of this Moonpreneur what we have. So then you can get an idea the kind of things we are creating.
Tired of playing 100-year-old business board games with ancient and outdated gameplay? Try the new age business board game that brings in modern day struggles of an entrepreneur, from making a decision to buying stock from Amazon with instant delivery, or to buy from Alibaba and wait for the stock to arrive. Should you go for air shipping or shipping via sea? Would you be able to tackle recession and manage legal compliances? Is selling online a better idea than going offline? Which freelancing opportunities should you take to earn more? Hustling is part of modern day business, and Moonpreneur brings the gameplay closer to reality. Moonpreneur is made for modern day entrepreneurs tired of playing 100-year-old.
So I think so some of the these gameplay we are really teaching them, and then they are part of the curriculum. And as the child proceeds from stage 1 to 2, 2 to 3, all these curriculum get more complex. So then they can really learn the advanced business concept. And really, I mean, this is our mission, what we are trying to build here, how we can really build this platform, which can teach the financial literacy, which can help kids learn hands-on way, business strategy, and so on. So I think this is really our mission. And here is a quick example of how the timeline of student works. So how we can really scale this thing. So, I mean, it's all blended learning. There are pre-recorded videos, then there are instructor-led sessions. And this is what we are learning. The middle schooler and high schooler, they do not want to be with an instructor all the time. They want to do something in their own schedule. Then they want to come and learn and ask questions. So for example, if you are in that exploratory phase and learning robotics, you will do your own pre-recorded sessions. Then you go and go to the and take your quizzes and your own schedule. Then you come to a classroom session. And these are not really one-on-one session, but these are classroom sessions, which are put together just for robotics or whatever stream you are in. And then with the two-teacher concept, we are really taking them to the deeper dive. These teachers already come prepared because they have all the data, which child struggled where, what quizzes they did, where they did good or not good, if our students is finishing their video on robotics or not, and everything is marked, right? So at the end of the first stage, they determine that where the child has interest and really take to the journey. And this really repeats in every stage. And Saturday, Sunday, we are doing the soft skill session or entrepreneurial skill session, exposing them to industry leader and so on. So I think this is really education. I think I'll just take a quick pause here and love to take more questions or love to discuss here. Sai, Ram, anybody?
Yeah, so let me see in the chat room. Somebody asked, I think Satyajit is asked a question. What stage are you at? Are you planning to present business plan summary? Well, is this related to this Satyajit, or is it a different topic?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to know, I think, is Alok and company, are they planning to say, I love the concept, and I said, hey, I think I resonate with some of the key things that you have said. Hey, let's focus on the 90%, the top 3 to 5% who they will go on to do whatever they are going to do anyway.
Yeah.
But helping them, I think that's totally resonate with that. Just wanted to know, for today, are you planning to present some business plan? And I think I wasn't sure. From my perspective, I wanted to understand what outcome are you looking for somebody like me who is in the audience.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm happy to dive in. I can share where we are in our journey. Ram, I mean, do you want me to share a couple of
Sure,
slides?
yeah, go ahead. I told you we might get a question like that from the audience, so feel free. Tell us about where, and I might have a couple of questions on that topic also, but absolutely.
So I think there is we are in the fundraising journey. We already raised about $7.25 million here, and I think we'll be closing this round soon. We have a lot of interest, and I think if we get the investment at right time, we believe that by end of this year we can do 2,000 students, or we are very confident on 1,000 plus students with our current fundraising. So it all come down to if we able to raise the funding at right valuation and so on, but we can deliver 2,000 subscription customer by end of this year.
So Satyajit, just to piggyback on that, some of us here in the TiE Dallas community, we've been talking, and there may be some interest in this, and so we are actively pursuing some opportunities to perhaps participate in this round.
Yeah,
so
I'm also interested, so I'll follow up with you, Ram, first.
Let's do that. Absolutely.
And learn where we are, and then we can go to
yeah.
Okay. No, this is very cool. My passion is education. Truly, really, this really resonates with me personally.
Yeah. Just going back to along the same lines, and pick up on the one of the first themes I was talking about. How do we personalize it with different people? And I think that 1090 is a good way to segment the population, the community. So I guess you talked about mission statement, right? So the mission statement, it's not so much to help a kid or build a business, so much as to helping the kid learn to make a living through these kinds of other learning opportunities to build businesses that are not available elsewhere. So the mission statement has to be clear there, right? It's not necessarily to help build a business as much as it is to help them learn to build a business or learn to make a living.
Sure. I mean, we can call it a living. We really call it, we are nurturing the innovative and entrepreneurial mindset. We are really nurturing the innovative and entrepreneurial mindset. That's all.
Okay.
I think this just by the time the child come out of this program, we see 10x confidence improvement. They're able to talk differently. So all that.
So again, so when you fast forward this, one of the metrics, the number from the business itself, one of the key metrics is the number of students that are getting enrolled on a regular basis, quarter after quarter. How does that progression look like? Number one. Number two, you could have, not necessarily you should, but you could have other metrics such as how many kids actually went through the whole program and in quote graduated from the program with a certain certification, certain stamp that they have actually successfully learned the concept, and they can go and, if not the idea they started out with, something else, but they have the essential ingredients with which to go take it. So the 893 students got through that program in this semester, something like that, right? Out of the 1,000 students that walked through the program, and that could be another metric. And the third metric could be the number of little business that actually got launched and have got to a certain size. That you may or may not want to include that metric, but that is something that is possible, right? These are some metrics that could be associated with the business.
Yeah, no, so absolutely. So I answer all three of those. So the last one, I think that will come later. We can put on a separate incubation arm or something, but I think we might not want to go there. But I think in your first two metrics, so I'll tell you the way we have started and why we started this way. So I think there are a lot of EdTech companies starting, and I don't want to call the name, but I mean, maybe one example I'll give you, maybe Whitehead Junior. There are several more in the same theme. What they are doing, they're really building a teacher and student marketplace. They really don't have a foundational pieces. They don't have a curriculum. They don't have these learning kits, nothing. They are really trying to put together that marketplace, and that model great, right? It is scales, but it just in our system versus that kind of system, there is a one major difference. The quality of teacher cannot be beyond a point. It's just not sustainable, not possible. Because what happened, the teacher with 10-year experience come to our site and our interview process and not able to sustain 15 minutes of our interview. We take best of the best. But when that kind of marketplace model, that whole thing is gone. I mean, if you look at some of the teachers of these very fast growing companies, they are turning work from home moms overnight to a teacher. I mean, I don't have any disrespect for work from home mom, but you don't make a teacher overnight, right? So that is not the philosophy of Moonshot Junior. What we have done in the first 6-7 months, we didn't really talk to any student or anything. We really focus on building this curriculum, learning kits, Moonpreneur, and all of that. So a couple of good things I'll tell you. Our first batch of 40 students, we started in September. 35 of them are continuing in their 8 months. So what really happened, when a student start, we really don't see any drop. We are holding most of the student. What it tells, and we made ton of mistakes. It was our first batch, right? We made ton of mistake. What it really tells, that this kind of education, we should easily get. I mean, I'm very confident because they are already running in 8 months. We have that data that we'll get guaranteed 1 year LTV average, but I think we might be able to get 2 or maybe longer, right? So one thing from the business side, that proof point is there. Now in terms of student, we just start scaling now. So we are adding about 50 students every month, but right now we have little over 110, 115 students. And as I said, like this our all the ad and all the campaign what we have really come down to how quickly we can raise money. If we are able to raise money timely, so we are also going to inject a bridge round towards end of this year. That will get us a 2,000 subscriptions. If that doesn't happen, we will be somewhere around 1,000 subscription, and we are happy both ways. We really don't want to dilute company beyond a point, but I think we are scaling as we wanted. I think whatever we have put together on paper 6 months ago, I think we are going well on that journey. Mm-hmm. And again, I think one thing gives us an edge, and that's the reason many learning centers, many education institutes are talking to us. When you have these learning kits, when you have the curriculum, we have built hours and hours of video and all this thing, you have a lot of asset which can be commercialized. So we are working with several these affiliates. So there is an Explorer Lab. They are in UAE. They have been running there for last 10 years. They are working with us. They want to take us to their international schools. We are working with Core STEM USA. They are in Indonesia and Malaysia. They work with over 50 international schools there. So they are sending some kits to us. These are all pilots, and we have given Pune exclusivity to Canva kits. They also very strong in the Pune area. So we are just going through this partner to scale this thing, because what we have, not everybody have. And it's complex. I mean, it's not like you just pair a student and teacher. There is a curriculum. There is a lot of these hardware is being shipped and all that. I think it's complex process. Not everybody can do it.
Yeah.
We need to do it because we have the kind of people. And I am not really claiming myself as an educationalist. I am really an e-com guy. I was in eBay. I was in Walmart. I know e-commerce. I know how the supply chain works. Ashu comes with 20 years of supply chain experience. That is what we are really putting together. It's a very reverse approach. We really find out or identify the end goal and try to reverse engineering from there. I mean, there are education institutes, they will say, we teach Python. I mean, great. Everybody can learn Python, but is that really the right thing to do? I mean, if you are building something which needs Python, great, we'll teach you. But if you are on a mission where the Python is not needed, maybe that might not be the right thing to do. So again, I mean, it's just a different philosophy what we are doing here.
Sure.
Alok, I have been putting some questions in the chat. Like, for example, do you see the duplication of ideas from batch to batch? And how do you deal with this? I think the first batch versus the second batch, you let the kids compete in the open market. How do you deal with that?
No, so I think maybe I might not have explained it well. So in all the classrooms, whatever we are doing, every classroom, the classroom will be run strictly on these templates by templates. Now, you can use these templates, and on T-shirt, you can really run through 10,000 kits, right? On this copper water, you can run 10,000 kits. So these all are templates. Now, if a child has a idea which is unique and they want to take their journey, that becomes a little bit more expensive. The classroom has a different setup. this costs less than about $80 per month, right? But if you really want to go for one-on-one journey, then you really need one-on-one teacher support and all that. That becomes almost 2x the cost. So those kits will be seen in a different setup.
Excellent. Okay, I missed that every batch has a set of ideas. They can pick from these and they can take it to completion. So there is clearly a template available. From their perspective, they are still learning everything. But
Correct.
from your perspective, the template is available. And it will lead to success without frustration. I think that's the fundamental problem that you have solved.
No, absolutely. So that's why I'm saying in this copper bottle, I really don't want to teach the child what happened at custom. It's not important for him right now, right? Maybe 10 years down the line, but not now. I want to teach him all the things that are important for him.
Yes, absolutely. You have to manage inventory, you have to do this to market. Those are the things you are teaching the child, as opposed to some of these mundane things that need to happen and that take their own time. And there is hardly anything to be learned other than some regulations.
Correct. And trust me, you work in these 10, 12, 15-year-old kids, the way we think, and I'll tell you, when we are doing this session to them, like, okay, let me teach you go to market or these MBA kind of topic, the kids hate them. I mean, we thought that we are bringing these big MBAs and all that. They do not want to do that.
Yes.
They want to do in a very different way. If you pick a topic that, okay, this is Alexa, and now it is getting advanced, is it ethical to abuse Alexa or not? Put a 10-year-old kid, you can get 2-hour conversation from them. I mean, the kids are very different now. So we really don't want to teach these MBA topic to them. We really want to give them hands-on things. I mean, these classes, I mean, when you give them these gears, I mean, their imagination open up and it looks very different way to teach.
And also, kids think out of the box. They are not bounded with some limitation or self-imposed limitation that we, after some age or education, normally develop. So it's totally fun working with them, for talking to them about ideation of a prototype and everything. So that's really actually what we want to motivate and develop in the child, transformation of the mind, how to continue to think out of the box.
Yes, no, very cool.
I'll just like to add there, Alok and everyone. So like I was having a very interesting conversation with one of the parent that I was speaking yesterday regarding our camp, Alok, the Moon Camp in the UK. And like we came up with the conversation led to the lemonade stall thing, because like there was a kid here in my local area who raised 500 pounds by selling lemonade stalls when the schools opened up. And we started conversing about like what happens at Moonshot Junior from entrepreneurship perspective. So like while we were discussing, like what came out was it's very easy for kids to take through these templates that we have built from telling them about profit and loss. But that's not what we want to do. It's not about, like you said, Ram, that like it's not about business. It's about the holistic process. So what we end up discussing was like, in order for you to do a lemonade stall, you can easily teach them that like how profit and loss will be calculated. You buy sugar, you buy a bit of ice, you buy some flavors and put a stall outside, and you will make, say, for example, 20 pence on every glass you will sell. But when you start talking to kids about what is the process of making the lemonade, you will actually have to cut the lemon and squeeze it. If you don't have resources, you'll have to make a recipe which is a bit unique, that is not being sold at the next stop for 10 pence less. And the other thing is, like, do you really want to sell? Are you interested in sell, or are you interested in talking about it? So as a process, what I said to them is like, when we went through this process of teaching the holistic education, we are seeing where the students' interest is. Is there interest in squeezing the lemon? Let's talk about innovation. Can we build a robot out of it that can do help in squeezing the lemon so that we can get the juice out in short period of time? There are kids who want to do that kind of stuff. Is there interest in making the recipe, making the lime juice absolute perfect? Yes, we will focus on that. that this is how you should package it, this is how you should sell it. And if some kids who are like very conscious about themselves, very confident about themselves, who want to sell, who want to talk to the people, they are just selling the lemonade because they know there are 20 kids who are going to come and they are going to talk to them. They don't have to go and sit behind moms and dads. So that's the holistic process that we have built in by introducing these simple recipe. Focus on the right thing and take the kids away from what causes fatigue and demotivates them. It's not necessary. That's what we have built in this process, especially from not talking to them in commercial terms or in business terms, but teaching them how to build an organization.
Yeah, no, that's very cool. Again, I think it really reflects some of us are inherently operations people, some are inherently marketing people, and some are inherently finance people, right? And some are engineering people who don't care about finance. I just want to build something cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I had a follow-up question I again put on the chat. Are these all individual projects, or are they group projects or team projects? I think, can you?
So I think we are doing a lot of team exercises, but right now everything is an individual project because we want our kid to go there. But I think we also have a team coming up, so there will be team, and that might reduce cost further, right? But right now I think every child, they are working in the team, but I think every child reach to the finish line individually.
Yeah, they work in a team on a project, but they create their own variation of a project.
Okay. Yeah. And Alok, I would think that the pricing you have right now, I think 2,000 student at $90 a quarter, I think that should be very hittable. So I know, are you finding that the price point is a challenge?
No, so I think once the parent learn it, and the kind of things they are getting, because what happened, everything is included, all these learning kits, everything.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Right. So when it comes to the pricing, $18, and we have a lot of parents who are paying for 6 months straight. So $80 per month is not a big pricing in compared to getting about 18 hours of learning. If you really look at from the dollar perspective, it's less than $5 an hour.
You know, Alok, a lot of parents ask me, a lot of my friends, how can you afford this at $83 a month? You know, that's the bigger question I get.
Yeah, it's the other way around. I think the parents are asking how it can be so cheap.
That's what I was thinking, that I think you may have a headroom there to grow there.
So I mean, right now,
also, but you don't want to put it out of the reach. I understand.
Yeah, so I think it's all come down to what we are building and what are the priorities. So right now, my current priorities are, we want to scale it. We want to do the land grabbing. We will make money. I mean, right now, if you think our current plan, even think about only $1,000 per month. Sorry, $1,000 LTV per student. If we have 40,000 students, which are our current plan, in year 4, you are talking, you can multiply, right? You are talking $40 million subscription revenue.
Alok, but I think what he's saying is where we might go in the future. Currently, we want to scale fast. And once we have a particular point, then we have a cushion where we can increase the price.
No. So maybe I might not have explained myself well. So I think we still have profitable. We are still profitable here.
Exactly.
So we are somewhere 40-45% gross margin, which we can increase to 65% as we scale, because we will get a lot of efficiency there. But what I'm trying to tell, that again, if you ask my personal interest, right? If we scale it to 40,000 students, all of a sudden that number looks very good on books, right? How the company valuation looks, a SaaS company, $40 million run rate, what it translates to the company valuation, right? I think that might be something which look like a really golden ball in front of me, and that's where we are running. Of course, if we realize that we need to slow it down and we need to bump up the pricing, I think the market has room for sure. And it all come down to the kind of investor we acquire, right? There might be investor who really do not care. They right now want us to grow. There might be investor, they say, no, I want the company to be profitable in 2 years. So it all come down to who we get the money and what happens. But if you ask me a personal thing, I think we are sitting on a huge opportunity here. I will look to scale.
Yeah.
Okay. So part of the growth plan, scaling is being done through partnerships and collaboration with other entities and so on and so forth, right?
So I think both the things, I think the partnership are crucial right now, and we are building partnership worldwide. And again, the beauty with us is our program is so unique. It's not like they have 3 other choices. Anybody who is liking us, they're really not finding anything in the market like that. The second thing, we believe there is a story to tell for every student and every parent. I think we need another 6 to 8 months of runway. After that, I think a lot of parents, word of mouth will happen. On that day, I gave you an example. When your child goes to Kumon, you never come out and you say, my child has learned differential calculus. Nobody go on their Facebook or LinkedIn, they write that. But when your child create your first t-shirt, right, or first copper bottle, I mean, I was one of that parent. This is exactly what I did. As soon as my daughter started creating, I jump on Facebook and everywhere and I start doing this, that look what my daughter has done it, right? It was a proud moment for me. All of a sudden, then a lot of friends start chiming in. So what I think, what we are building here, we might able to get a huge social media pull. I think so. The B2C might also scale. Of course, the B2C will produce a lot better numbers. And again, I might be on a dreamland right now. Maybe I will see a reality 6 months to a year down the line. But I think I just want to try it out. So I think partnership will be there. But I think the B2C also, I don't want to leave for at least another year, year and a half. I want to give it a best shot. And if we realize it is not scaling beyond a point, maybe we just focus back on B2B. But I have a hunch, the kind of thing we are doing, I think the community will start pulling it off after a couple of quarters.
Any other questions, folks on the call? It's actually, we went past an hour, it's around 7:20 now. So I want to be sensitive to everybody's time constraints here. So any other questions? Maybe last couple of questions and then we'll call it a day. Anybody else, any questions?
Ram, this is fantastic. Thank you for bringing it to us. And I'll follow up with you first and then with the Moonshot Junior team.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. All right. If there are no other questions, again, thank you very much, Alok, Vishal, Ashutosh, and we'll be in touch on the various.
Alok, would you put your email address in the chat or somewhere?
Yeah, so it's right here. I'll also put on the chat.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, Ram. Thank you, Sai. Thank you, Satyajit. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thanks, everyone. It was a good conversation. Thanks a lot.